Hey, how's it going, everyone? My name is Timmy Malasar. I'm one of the three co-founders here at Everest Acquisitions. And today we have a really cool case study interview with one of our clients, Isaac. And his story is a pretty cool one. I think a lot of you guys are going to relate to it. He started off his career working a 9 to 5 at a sod farm, and he finally made the switch to running his own business, where he relied on things like Facebook Marketplace, Nextdoor, Thumbtack, just to kind of scrape together jobs and keep him decently busy. Here's the crazy part, though, is at the time of this recording, Isaac's only been in business for 5 months. And 2 months into working with us, he was able to hit his first 20K month, which was kind of a stretch goal for him when we first actually got on the phone with him. And now he's already at a point where he's outgrown being a one-man show and is looking to bring in his first full-time crew, despite being in business for only 5 months. So Isaac's going to walk us through everything, where he started, what changed, where he's at now, and even what's next for his company. So it's definitely an inspiring story. So without further ado, let's jump straight into it.
So we've been in business since January 1st officially. And before that, it was just a little side gig and whatnot. And eventually we had to make the jump and come out on our own and quit our day job. And Tameen and his team have really taken it from just us marketing on Facebook Marketplace to us getting out there and marketing outside of Facebook Marketplace. And man, the results have been awesome.
Awesome, man. I'm glad to hear that. In terms of like services, like, can you tell us a little bit more about what IH Landscaping does, like what you guys offer to customers, things like that?
Yeah, we offer all things landscape projects. We don't offer mow and blows. We offer sod installs, retaining walls, grade work, skid steer work, any landscape project.
Nice. The big stuff, basically. Sweet. And then I know you kind of talked about it, but obviously for people that don't really know too much about you, before you actually started the business, you were working on a sod farm, right?
Yeah.
Can you
Yeah.
talk to us a little bit about that transition from like working and having, IH Landscaping as like this side thing to officially making that switch to a real full-time business in the 1st of January, so like 5 months ago?
Yeah, there's some challenges making the switch full time. Things that I didn't realize that I would need to do or have capital to do. But it's all been smooth, and I contribute that to y'all a lot. Y'all have helped out a lot making that transition.
I appreciate that.
But it went from just being a weekend project type deal to now I'm busy estimating jobs all day, 7 days a week.
Nice. And what was there like a turning point for you where you were like, yeah, like I'm ready to make the switch to go full time?
Yeah, when when we needed to make more money.
No, that's fair. And then can you talk to us a little bit about how you were, obviously you started the business in January. We didn't start working together until February. So can you talk to us about like how you were kind of getting your own jobs and your own leads for those 2 months and even the time before that?
Yeah, it was all Nextdoor. Facebook Marketplace was a big one. The marketplace works good. Nextdoor does not work good. Things like Thumbtack, Nextdoor. It's just I was getting leads that other people were getting leads and never hearing back from a customer.
Yeah.
Where we don't have that issue anymore.
Yeah. I know for a fact that like 60%, 80% of the people watching this video more than likely are in the same boat where they're getting a lot of work from Facebook posts and like posting in community groups and marketplace and things like that. Like you said, they work a lot of the times, but most of the times they also don't. So what would you say was kind of the biggest issue with what you were getting out of Facebook Marketplace and posting in general?
The clients that would reach out and then never respond back to you. The clients that were looking for the cheapest bid. And that's really about. There's other issues, but those are the two big ones.
Yeah. No, that's fair. Yeah, like again, a lot of the people that I speak to that are like in the position of using those, they find that, okay, number one, it's not getting us the best clientele. And number two is also like not scalable. Like for them to get more, they'd have to post more, which means taking more time out of the field and putting it into actually getting those jobs. You know what I mean? So 100%. And then in terms of, I guess, like other marketing strategies, was there anything else that you had tried besides those?
No.
Okay.
I made the jump to y'all pretty quick.
We did. We made the jump like 2 months into business.
Yeah.
The next thing I was going to talk to you about, can you walk us through like how you found out about us and like the whole process of, I guess, just initially getting in conversation with us and what that was like?
Yeah, so I found out about y'all on Facebook and filled out y'all's little questionnaire, much like the questionnaire that my customers coming to me now on Facebook will fill out. And at first I was a little skeptical. And through Tamim's team and him calling me, they gained my trust. It's all been uphill from there.
Nice, man. I love to hear that. And then can we talk a little bit now about just your, I guess, overall feedback, overall thoughts on everything? I know you hinted at it like here and there, in terms of like, you know, how we've been able to help with the marketing, but can we go into a little bit more depth on like what would you say overall your experience has been like with us? What's your experience now in terms of how you get jobs and leads and estimates, and how did it differ to before, things like that?
Yeah, so before, obviously, we're using Nextdoor and Thumbstack and Angie's List, and those services all send a job to multiple contractors, and it's just a race to the bottom that way. And you know, cheapest bid wins. Where with y'all, I don't get a job that has been sent out to multiple contractors. I get the bid, I pick up the phone, call the potential customer, the lead, and we start planning a date to come out and give an in-person estimate. It's really easy, really quick, really simple. We get this awesome software that we get to use to track everything, and man, it's kept everything organized where I can be very unorganized at times.
Awesome. Yeah. I know a lot of the people we speak to as well, one of their big concerns is just working with a company that doesn't communicate with them, that doesn't actually tell them what's going on, that, you know, kind of just keeps them out in the mud and keeps them guessing. What would you kind of say was, I guess, how would you rate the support and like the communication with us and the onboarding process, and kind of more, I guess, less so, you know, the jobs aspect, the marketing aspect of things, but more so like the actual process of how we keep you posted and how we check in and things like that?
10 out of 10. We have a group chat, and whenever I need to talk to somebody, I just pick up the phone, call the group chat, and somebody picks up. There's never a time I've gone with more than an hour without somebody responding, unless it's midnight and I'm making promotional content and sending it to y'all.
Sending us the TikToks in the group chat. The CapCut edits. No, I love them. They're awesome. Don't stop sending them, by the way. But amazing. Okay. And then in terms of like lead volume and estimate volume, I know obviously, you know, you were talking about how the quality's been amazing, just in terms of like, we're not having to race to the bottom. What would you say you've seen in terms of like estimate volume, lead volume? Have you been seeing enough? Have you been seeing too little? Can you kind of walk us through that as well?
Yeah, so estimate and lead volume, we've been seeing good quality leads. Towards the start, we saw still good quality leads, but they were all out of state.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And you know, a couple phone calls later and about a week of playing with the software, we hammered that bug out and we don't have that issue anymore. So that has in turn raised the cost per lead, but has gotten us leads that we can actually go bid instead of getting somebody from Arkansas, Louisiana, and then we're based out of Texas, so we're not going out there. So y'all have been a dream to work with in that sense. Y'all really stepped up and taken a lot off my plate that I feel other companies would have just said, "Oh, it's fine. That's just how the game is."
Amazing. That's amazing to hear. And then for IH Landscaping, like what does the future look like? We're only 5 months into the business, but I guess what goals, plans do you have for the company in general? Like, what are we trying to get to, let's say in the next year, 2 years? We have the world ahead of us.
Next year, 2 years. Well, my goal was to hit 20K a month when we first started. We hit that with y'all 2 months in. So next year or 2 year, I'm gonna say this might be a little under what I should be looking at, but I'm gonna say 40 to 50 a month, 40 to 50K
Nice.
a month.
Absolutely.
And I feel
mean,
we will exceed that.
I was gonna say, like, I think that's more than doable. Like you said, only 2 months in, and we were able to get to that first 20K mark. I remember when we first talked, that was like, like the stretch goal. Like I'd love to be hitting 20K per month, but now that's kind of like the minimum, where it's like if we go under that, it's like,
Yes.
oh, we didn't do too good this month.
Yes.
Which is absolutely amazing. And yeah, I think it's more than doable next year. Obviously, we'll just be able to double the amount that we're spending. That's one of the cool things as well about having like a marketing system that has inputs that we can control, is because we can control how much we put in, we're going to be able to control how much we get out, So within the next couple of months, we could start putting more into the ads. We could start advertising different services. And I know you're at a point now as well. You're starting to look to get some help, some crews.
Yeah, I need help now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Can you walk us through that as well? Like, what does your workload look like now, and how you're, kind of going about like looking for workers, things like that?
Workload now. Well, I'm a one guy show right now. Always have been, even when I was doing it on the weekends. I'd hire on friends or other people that I worked with when I needed a big project done. And for the time being, that's kind of what I'm still doing, hiring people that I know to come work when I have a big project. But I don't know what we're gonna do to try to find people. Yeah, I have not crossed that bridge yet, but it's getting really close to where we have to hire a full-time crew.
Yeah, which is still really insane. Like, for being in business for 4 to 5 months and already looking to get a crew, like I know guys that 2 years in and they're not even thinking about a crew because the workload is so manageable,
Yeah.
So it's honestly just amazing to see how far we've come from when we started up until now. And I guess the last thing we can go through for today is, what would you say to somebody, or just for a little bit of context? I remember when we spoke, it was in February. It was a very slow month, and it was just like scarier than ever to just pull that trigger. So what would you say to people that are watching this, that are thinking of working with us, thinking of taking their business to the next level, but they're just a little bit hesitant? They're not sure if this is going to work out. They're not sure if it's the right time. What would you say to somebody who's kind of on the fence about this?
It's well worth the money. Well worth it. I was nervous that it wasn't going to be. And quickly after I signed on with y'all and we started doing business, quickly after I got my first lead and closed the first lead, and hasn't slowed down from there. It's worth the money for the service that I pay y'all.
Amazing. I'm glad to hear that. Well, Isaac, it's been an absolute pleasure to be working with you. Only a couple months in, I'm very excited to see what the future holds. You've been an absolute amazing to talk to today. I appreciate your time. Is there any final thoughts or feedback or anything about your experience with working with us that you have to say to somebody just before we can call it quits for today?
Other than y'all have a great team. Y'all know what y'all are doing. I feel like I've beaten that horse. Man, y'all really just, y'all are a young group of men, but it seems like y'all been doing this all y'all's life. Y'all have tons of experience doing this.
Awesome, man. I appreciate that. Well, thank you so much for your time, Isaac. Again, very excited to see what the future holds. I do not think this will be the last time we record a progress interview with you. I do believe that within the next couple of months, we'll be doing another one like this. And instead of 20K months, we'll be talking about 30, 40K months.
Yeah.
So I see it happening, but amazing. Thank you so much for your time, Isaac. And thank you so much for speaking with us today.
Likewise, thank you.